There we go. I'm sorry about that, guys. Instagram be doing what it want to do sometime. So I'm sorry about that. Hello. So we doing a do-over on that one. Hopefully they get it together. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry about the inconvenience, guys. Have my brother join us really quick and come on in here. Hello. I don't know if that was his internet or ours, but we're gonna make it work today, guys. I'm sorry about that. How you guys' week been going? There we go. There we go. There we go. You all right now?
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
Okay. Okay. Now I don't know what be going on with this Instagram. Sometime, well, we're gonna get it together today.
Oh yeah, we good to go.
uh, so what were you saying? And I apologize about that.
No, I was just saying, man, we got a good subject, and see if you can pin it too. But
Okay.
just talking about emotional abandonment,
Right.
emotional attachments, and emotional detachment. So it's
Absolutely.
it's a fiery subject, man. I just feel like it's more important now than ever, just because of the season that we in as a whole. We in the season where it's important what we attach to, what we detach to, and it's important that we don't abandon, the people that we're not supposed to abandon. So I
Yeah.
think all
Absolutely.
three of those are very important, bro.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we got a fire guest coming in today, man. You actually, I'm gonna have you introduce her and do all the formalities with that, man. You read her book and you um, sent me a couple of chapters of it, man. And what I read was fire. Was
Oh
fire.
yeah,
So she,
yeah.
I
She
think
did a
she
good
gonna take.
job just putting the book together.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she had a great and maybe even a professional editing team, but just the way that she was able to express herself, you know what I'm saying? It kind of opened my eyes to, how we can emotionally abandon someone without even knowing it. So just to hear, that from a woman's perspective, as a
Okay.
man, it made me look at things differently. And
Really?
yeah, I was excited to bring that in, bro, and bring her in and have a conversation about that. So.
Yeah. Like I said, I spoke with her and she was just like, you know what? Y'all be bringing it, so just come on with the questions. She said, no holds barred. So I'm like,
Yeah,
let's get it.
gotcha.
Let's get it. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that.
Right, right,
So, do
right.
you want to run across some things before we bring her in?
Yeah, yeah. Let's get the conversation started, and we'll
Let's
bring
get
her
it.
in a few minutes. So,
Okay.
yeah, I want to get the wheels turning with you, bro. Talking
Okay.
about emotional abandonment. Let's start with emotional abandonment. And
Okay.
we all know at some point in our life we've all experienced it. So, my first
Absolutely.
question to you would be: looking back at your life now, at what age do you think you dealt with emotional abandonment first? The first time.
Um, I guess I would say as a kid, I had my biological father, and then I had my mom got remarried. I don't say stepfather because
Hmm.
he's you know, I mean, my dad relationship, he's everything.
Right.
And so I mean, if I say step, he stepped up and was the man in my life that I needed, you know what I'm saying, and always been that. So but just having a biological father that was absent, I think that was, and I think every kid kind of reach out to those people, you know
Right.
what I mean. And so I think that would probably be the first within my life. But you know, as an adult, you grow and you understand situations, and you just say, okay. this is what it is. I mean, um, I think as kids we kind of blame ourselves sometimes. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Or say, hey, what's going on? Why is you know what I mean? But it's not on us. It's on them. You know what I mean? And so yeah,
that's good.
yeah. I think
Portia,
that was
did you ever ask your dad why he was absent, or did y'all ever have that conversation?
no. We talked about other things, but I think I kind of just figured it out on my own. I mean,
Okay.
and me figuring it out on my own was when you don't hold responsibility on anything, and you just living life. I mean, day by day, and you know what I mean. You see that growing up, and just irresponsible.
Yeah.
I would just say irresponsible. You know, I I guess you want to question. Okay, hey, is it love there? This, but I think yes, it was. But the situation is, it started with me, then it started with my other siblings the same way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think a lot of guys when they get with females, they're there when they leave that relationship, they leave everything.
Right.
Just my opinion. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So um, I'm just gonna dig right in. How does with emotional abandonment, um, how does sex play a part in emotional abandonment with you?
With me personally,
Yeah.
well, for me,
You know me, I'm just going I'm going for the jugular, you
I
know.
see no warm up, no
No,
nothing.
no warm up. We gonna get it.
Yeah. All right. So, with me personally, in a relationship, that's a big part of it. The sexual aspect and just that
Mhm.
mental connection that go along with it. So, for me, it was big. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And it felt like rejection. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It felt like rejection, and I can remember, just being 100% real with you. In my first relationship, I was
Uh-huh.
toxic, bro. Like
Okay.
I had a rule: if you don't
Your
give me
name
enough,
Toxic Zoe anyway, so hey.
toxic Zoe. That's the 20s. So
There
listen,
we
my
go. There
my
we go.
rule was this: if you ain't on your cycle and I don't get none for 3 days, I'm cheating. You know what I
Right.
mean? But
Right.
that's just the mindset that I had early on, and so
Okay.
you have to learn and grow from that toxic behavior. So yeah, it was consequences that come. And so my first relationship, it was just no honesty in it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, on both ends. So yeah, I had a bad retaliation to it. You know what I'm saying? My second relationship, somebody said, man, Lorenzo. When I got older, you know what I'm saying? My second relationship, which I had an engagement,
Okay.
that wasn't an issue, you know what I'm saying, to that degree. And so I think quite naturally though, man, you have to pick somebody who's going to support you emotionally no matter how they feel. Sometimes that person got to put their feelings before you. And then as a man, when you get older, you understand how to, be mature with your decisions as well. But
Right.
yeah, your boy was toxic.
I'm gonna tell you. I think that was my number one question, my first question, because I think with men, that is the biggest, um, probably one of the biggest issues that we have, right?
Right,
That we don't talk about. You know what I
right.
mean? And we'll play it off, or like you said, do other things, cheat, or
Yeah,
this and that,
yeah.
instead of really just have a conversation and say, hey, you know, I feel neglected in this area, or I have a need in this area, and not talk about it. So yeah, I think that's yeah, that's why that was my first question though.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay.
So my next question to be you, okay, looking back now, and
Hmm.
you look at when you were younger versus now your reaction to emotional abandonment, how do you feel that your reaction to emotional abandonment has matured?
Um, I think growth, bro. I mean, I think we evolve over time, we grow over time, we mature, and so I think just over time we look at situations and we mature and just say, okay, you know what? I have to look at this from a different perspective. I have to look at this from a different angle.
No,
You
give us
know.
an example. We want an example. Give us an example of how it matured. Don't dance around. Don't dance around it. And no, give us an example.
I ain't gonna lie, I was trying to tap dance around
Yeah.
that. um, I got quite a few, but I'm trying to. That's a toughie, Rand.
Just give us one. We only if you got quite a few, we ask for one.
My boy put this on the spot today. I
When you
think
used to get mad, you used to what? Throw stuff, break stuff. You look like you break stuff.
no, I mean to be honest, um, I think boxing really helped me far as with my temper and to control my emotions. Also, you know what I
Okay,
mean? I think so.
I
I
can
think
believe
so.
that.
Yeah. What about you?
Level of maturing. Like I said, not wanting to retaliate as much. You know what I mean? So it changed from wanting to retaliate to wanting to get to the source of it, the root of the problem of how we got
Okay.
here. So I'm like that with everything now. You know what I'm saying? But we talking a different person from the younger 20s to close to 40. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You want to understand the reason why because it's that reason why or how you got there that's really going to stop you from going there. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm like that with
Absolutely.
everything, man. I'd rather get to the root of it. And if you get upset, if you allow anger and your emotions to be negative, it didn't answer. And Moon to Start Therapy said you did a good job with dancing around that question again. So
Thank you. Man, I think I think just as a husband, you know, you look at situations and say, I'm not supposed to handle stuff in this situation,
right.
and I'm not supposed to handle things like this. And I think more, I'm gonna say more than anything for me, my biggest growth was probably in being married or in marriage.
Hmm.
And I say that because you got someone looking at you and saying, okay, she's handling situations like this and you're handling them like this, right? And you have to change. You have to
Yeah.
change. You have to say, okay, you know what? This is the most important person in the world to me. So again, act like it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so yeah, I think that's um, where that comes from a little bit.
Makes
Better
sense.
answer, Rance.
I got you.
Okay.
I guess I'll take it. You ain't give us no example, but we'll take it. What else you got for me, champ?
uh, and it, okay, how is, and I'm speaking from African Americans or Black. How is therapy important and to have a Black therapist? Why do you think that's important?
To have a black therapist.
To,
um.
I'm gonna say therapy, and
Oh, therapy altogether.
only reason why I say that or I went there is because um, I feel like it's important for me,
Right.
right? I feel like it's important for me. And so I pose that question to you. Do you feel like that's important? Or it can just be anybody?
Man, I'm gonna be 100. I used to be a persecutor of it. I felt like prayer can get you through anything, and
Okay.
it took learning and understanding that prayer is absolutely a great thing, and we all should start with it. But it's gonna take more than that. It's gonna take some time talking to that professional. So, from having relationships with therapists and going through therapy myself, I'm a straight advocate for it. There are
Okay.
certain things that you simply need to talk to a professional about and get a professional opinion.
Okay.
And if you don't do that, you really just setting yourself up for failure. People went to school and got education to be an expert in that area. So why not use that expert? Um,
Okay.
I think sometimes, man, it's a prideful thing, and it's just not knowing. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing as
That's
I
it.
know everything or I can fix
Right.
myself. If we could
Right.
all fix ourselves, we wouldn't need other people. So I think we all need other people, man, and we should have taken advantage of it. So, like I said, I'm totally an advocate for it now.
Okay. I think the reason why I asked about um, a Black therapist is
Mhm.
because me being a Black man, um, I just look at it and say, okay, I want someone that understands my struggle.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? I want someone that been through when you get pulled over by the police or anything like that. Everybody's not going to know what that situation is or what that
yeah.
situation is like. You know what I mean? So me talking to someone, and it's not that I'm looking at any other race of therapy. Not saying
Right.
that they're not good, but I'm more comfortable possibly with a Black therapist just because what I'm talking to them about, I think they will have more understanding of.
Yeah.
what I'm going through or the feelings that I'm going through.
Yeah. I agree with that absolutely.
Okay.
If I could though, bro, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I would have to have two therapists. I need a man therapist and I need a female therapist.
I want to hang up on you right now.
Why? I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that for the reason, like, just keeping it 100. When we were
Okay.
kids, it's just certain things that you're gonna tell your mother that you're not going to tell your father. It's certain things that you just gonna feel comfortable with it. Right now, bro, if I train my son too hard, guess what he's gonna do? He's not gonna tell me that I overtrained him, but he'll let his mother know because he feel like that's a comfort zone. And
Correct.
so, even as an adult, bro, I feel like there's a comfort zone more with a woman that I'm gonna feel with a man. So I want
Really?
two therapists. I do. There's certain things that, and me and you close. You much older than me, but you my older brothers. Like I said, much. But yeah, there's certain things that I tell you that I would tell a woman that I wouldn't tell you, and that's just
Really?
what it is. Yeah, yeah, and that's just me. Everybody got to know they self. It's called from his perspective, right?
I'm
Is
gonna
that
just
what
put
the
it
show
out there.
called? So that's my
I'm gonna
perspective.
call Granny and get all the secrets. I'm gonna just put it out there,
You go.
right?
No, Granny on my team. We went out to dinner today. Granny is Team Zoe all day.
All
But yeah,
right.
man, it's just certain things that I'm gonna just be, more open to a woman. And yes, it would be an older woman who I know has the experience and wisdom, But yeah,
He gonna say, "Did you say much older?" Yeah, he tripping, y'all.
much older. He went to school. He went to school with my daddy, but you know what
Oh
I'm
my
saying?
God.
He's so cool
And,
till he went to school with my daddy, but he hang with me. That's just
and you said that today, and he agreed. I'm like, "Oh, Jesse, you crazy."
yeah, you heard him? Yeah,
What
that's
you
pretty
got for me,
good.
my brother?
All right, I got one more question before I want to bring in our exciting guest.
Okay.
And it's a three-part question, so hear me well. When
Okay.
it comes to emotional attachment, detachment, when it comes to business, do you feel like you have to have an emotional attachment to your clients? Have you ever felt like you had to have an attachment to get business done, or have you ever had a detachment in order to keep things professional?
I think both. I think both. I think some things are just natural, right?
Uh,
I think some relationships are just natural, and you just have a natural relationship
mm-hmm.
with some, and then I think some may take it a little bit too far, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just being honest. And
When you say take it too far, give us an example. We want examples, Pete. Give us an example. What they do, what you experience.
you just exampled out today at you.
What they do, what somebody did.
I mean, they just want to get it when we're doing a job or something. We sometimes we need to be in and out. They want to offer you food or hey, this or get in your personal business or and then me being a boxer, sometimes it's oh hey, I see you on here. Are you doing it? You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And sometimes it's just yeah, or it could be a divorce situation. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't really want to get into that. I want to move what I got to move and get out of there. Do I have sympathy? Yeah, I do, but that's some touchy situation sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Gotcha.
absolutely, absolutely. Miss Tiff, request us to come on in, and we'll bring you in. Renz, I got one more for you, my brother.
Let's go. Shoot.
And for sure, I'm gonna ask for an example. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Here, I want to pull a good one out for you, brother. I'm sorry.
Come on,
I
think
really,
about it. We'll give you a little time. We know when you're a senior citizen, it take a little longer. So we got all the time in the world, P.
so, what's your feelings of death and emotional attachment? And then I got another one after that for you also.
Man, with death, it could be rough, bro.
Okay.
Because ooh wee, that's a good one. But yeah, it could be rough because it's almost like you forced to detach, but in your heart you still have that attachment. And so it's just, man, you have to understand the difference between faith and reality. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's important to have that faith and to keep legacy living, but the reality is you have to move forward. You know what I mean? So that's a hard one, man. And I think that it's always going to be a process to understand the difference in between the two.
Okay.
But I do think that some people may feel that that person has abandoned them, and they didn't. It's like, I'm pretty sure if we all could avoid death, we probably wouldn't die. You know what I mean?
Sure. Sure.
And so it's just a matter of how you look at it. But that thing gonna take some faith. That thing gonna take some therapy, and it's gonna take some maturing. You know what I'm saying? To look at it the right way. But to be honest with you, I truly don't know the right way to look at it. I'm gonna have to research that.
I, because I just recently went through it with my mom, I would say memories, right?
Mhm.
I want to embrace the memories, right?
Mhm.
And me missing her, um, I think it's just a part of life.
Oh,
I,
definitely,
I,
definitely.
I think it's just a part of going through the process, and I think to the day I die, it's going to be a miss, right?
Mhm.
But I think you just move forward, and I'm gonna say for me, moving forward is um, trying to better myself and doing what she wanted me to do or what she would be proud of me doing, right?
Absolutely.
And say, okay, you know what, let's get it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think that's my particular way of coping with different situations like that.
And then too, man, things change. Man, my brothers and sisters was having a conversation. When my mother
Okay.
passed away, I didn't want to get her a tombstone. I didn't care to get her one because I felt like I didn't want no attachment to the graveyard. Well, 16 years later, we've revisited that conversation, and they like, Zoe, let's get a tombstone. And I'm like, good, cool. If that's what y'all want to do, let's do it. And so I took it as I didn't want that emotional attachment to going to the graveyard then. But now, like I say, 16 years later, that has changed. And I think it'll
Absolutely.
be a good thing to take my kids and, make it a great moment. But, you have to sometimes do what's best for you for that moment.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
it's going to vary from person to person, opinion to opinion.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
they would have wanted it then, I would have got it then. But we kind of agreed that we didn't want it. But, we revisit that conversation, and here we are. We're going to make it happen 16 years later.
Okay. Okay. And last question that I'm gonna bring Tiff in. Um, how does emotional attachment affect you, I'm sorry, with your children um, not being here, uh, not being in the city?
Oh, man, that one was difficult, bro. And I struggled with it, and I had to learn to balance it out because my relationship with them, I'm the type of father where it gave me a peace of mind, and it was just a joy for me to spend time with them, probably even
Sure.
more than it was for them.
Sure.
And so, when I did move away out of the state down to Texas, for the first time in my life, I experienced separation anxiety. Like, I never
Okay.
knew what separation anxiety was, but once I knew, like, I'm an 18-hour, 20-hour drive away, like, it was tough. And so even with being in the same state with them, being 2 hours away, there's times where it get tough because of the laws of the land. I'm allowed to see them every other weekend unless I decide to go to a basketball game or support them in some kind of way. So again, man, you have to learn how to balance it out, change what you can, and just look at it for the positive. So one of the things that I said, because I told you in the beginning of the summer, I was upset because I wanted the summer with my son.
Right.
But instead of complaining, I just took advantage of the time that we do have, and I appreciate it more. You understand? So it
I'm
just
gonna hit. I'm gonna
it's
hit
a
you with
matter of just being positive over negative as much as you can, bro.
absolutely, and I'm gonna hit you with this with that one. Grace and mercy,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna just leave it at that. And we've talked about that, but I think with that, it's grace and mercy. You know what I mean? And I think everything with that situation will work itself out.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay. So, you ready for the introduction, my brother?
Man, let's bring her in. This lady right here, she's awesome. She's amazing. She's only 5'3", so I'm gonna throw that out there first. So
Okay,
I
let's
don't
do
want
it. Let's
everybody to
do it.
think she's much taller than 5'3". So I had to put that out there first. I
Okay.
had to be the opposite. I had to be like a sour
I,
patch. First
I'm
off
gonna
the
just put
sour.
this out there. Your hair look amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
We asked her to come in. She was like, "I gotta get my hair done." I'm like, "Well, let's get
Look,
it.
and
Let's
with
get
y'all
it."
questions, I had to make me an appletini.
Uh-oh.
How you doing today?
I am great. How are y'all doing?
I
I'm
am.
doing
I am
great.
doing well. I am doing well. Renz.
So let me get this right. She a travel agent, realtor. She served the country. She's an author. She's a fitness trainer. And this one is great. You got to be a tough woman to have a phone conversation with Purnell. So we putting that on your resume as well. It takes a lot of patience to talk to him on the phone.
Oh
Nah,
my
it's
goodness.
all good. We both realize we both don't have any filters. So whatever's
Yeah,
on our
that's true.
mind, we just gonna say it.
Hold on,
So
let me grab my Bible while y'all on here together.
That is
please
true.
do.
Hey,
Please do.
I just want to say this. Thank you so much.
Ah!
Wait a
Thank
minute.
you.
Wait a minute. Let
Okay,
me
no,
hate.
before you start, hold on. Before you start,
I froze.
no, but you good. So I wanted to get y'all something. And what I got y'all is in transit, but P wanted to
You ain't got to
support,
explain yourself to him.
and so him and his beautiful queen, they supported me, and so they items arrived today.
And we're going to continue to do that. And we're going to ask everybody else to do that. And thank you so much. And
Thank
listen,
you.
forget Rans, okay?
He'll be all right.
I'll take that. Look at him trying to brag with his shirt. He's too old to wear that shirt. That shirt is for people that was born in the 80s, not the
Okay,
60s.
hey, well, I'm going to act like it. You welcome. Go for it, my brother. Go for it. Give us an
So
introduction.
again, we brought up some of your many titles, but we brought you here because you are an author. I purchased your book. I was blessed by your book, and
Thank you.
yeah, just some of the things that you do. Did I get all your titles right? What I missed?
Yeah, and online store owner.
Online store owner. Okay.
There we go. For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Good.
And thank you again. Like I said, I appreciate it. My wife loves it. Her shirt and her mug. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, she got a
Thank you.
shirt in the mud?
Yes,
Okay.
I had to
I just
take
want to
care
make
of
sure write everything down on the tablet of my heart.
Oh my goodness.
You know how bald-headed people are. You know how bald-headed people are.
Right. So let's get into your book. Tell us the title. Tell us what inspired you to write this book.
Okay, so the title is called Missteps, Heartaches, and Setbacks, Overcoming Through Faith, Perseverance, and Prayer.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And I wrote the book. Well, I was actually inspired by my ex-husband because when we was going through our divorce, it was a mutual decision.
Okay.
But once I started to put everything in motion to go through with the divorce, he got a little out of character. I'll just say that.
Okay.
And he wrote a long message on Facebook Messenger and sent it out to like 100 plus people. And when I say long, when I printed it out for my attorney, it printed out to 40 pages.
Jeez.
And yeah. And so it was him basically being one-sided, wanting to play the victim. And I'm the type of person, if you want to play the victim, I'll allow you to be the victim.
Okay.
But with that being said, my mother always taught me to fight smart.
Okay.
And instead of fighting in such a way that was going to cost me money, meaning getting arrested, I chose to write a book to make me money.
That's good. So you chose to use your pain for something positive, pretty much.
Exactly.
And
everything that I went through throughout the marriage, you know, with fertility, getting pregnant, the miscarriage, the betrayal, the deceit, the lies. I felt like my story would help some women out there, because a lot of times women feel like they're the only ones that's going through it. So it wasn't until I started sharing my story that a lot of women, especially within my own family, was like, hey, I remember when I suffered a miscarriage. I know what that feels like. But keep the faith, keep believing. Like, after I had the miscarriage, I had 4 kids or 5 kids, or the doctor told me I would never have children, and they have a whole tribe. So it was just, you know, my way of, like I say, getting my story out there and then helping people. And I didn't realize the book also helped men as well.
Absolutely.
So that's a blessing in itself as well.
Gotcha.
Did you just say whole tribes? So they had.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you something.
I'm silly, y'all. You know.
Look, when it comes to my family, look, we have a new addition to the family, probably 1 to 5 new additions every year. Our family just, you know, when I say I come from a big family, I'm one of 55 grandkids.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot. We got you.
To be corrected, she said whole tribes, and she meant.
She said 55, so we're AP. We don't want no beef with them. They traveling in packs.
Yeah.
I
That's
love
why
it. I love
tell
it.
We don't want no beef at all. We cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we want to deal with chapter 4 of your book, because from reading it, you know, that deals with emotional abandonment. Take us into, you know, how you felt, and we'll let Pete start off with question number 1. Pete, what you got for?
What was your experience with emotional abandonment as a child?
I need a drink.
Did we get a
No. Okay, so I came from a 2-parent household. They're still married. November would be 52 years. Yeah, and that's when they met in March and got married in November the same year, and it's 52 years later.
Wow, 52.
Yeah, so from my mom, okay, so I have to put this out here. I was an only child, and this will explain the emotional abandonment as a child. So my mom, she spoiled me rotten when it came to unconditional love, the sacrifices, the affection, the emotions, the shoulder to lean on, cry on, all of that. The person to talk to about any and everything. I was her little girl. I was my dad's daughter, but the son that he wanted. So it wasn't until I got older, I realized that my dad had endured a lot of tragedy, from being, you know, forced in the draft to the Vietnam War, forced to, you know, kill kids and women. And then you come back to a country that spits on you and don't appreciate you, to his mother and older brother being murdered. So I never met my grandmother and one of my uncles because they was murdered, and him and his other siblings actually saw their bodies at the house after they were murdered. So he just wasn't an affectionate man. And as a little girl, when you walk up to your daddy and you say, I love you, and his response is, you, that does something to you. And I remember one time I tried to cry. We was in a wreck, and, you know, he looked at me so lovingly. He was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, but I want my mom. And he was like, then shut up then. And I remember like, you know, drying the tears immediately. So my mom, she gave me everything. My dad, because of the tragedies that he endured in his life and not knowing to express himself, because we have to remember, this is during a time, he came up during the time where men really didn't express themselves, didn't share emotions. Is like certain things you just didn't talk about. So emotionally as a child, I felt the abandonment from him, which affected me later on in life.
Absolutely.
When it came to relationships.
Right. Yeah. Wow, that's a lot. And, you know, he definitely had to endure a lot. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
Everything that he went through, we can't even say that we can imagine it because we
No.
can't. And I
And
think sometimes
that was just a
when we
little bit.
experience pain in that way, we try to hide certain emotions. And we
Exactly.
all know it's not healthy, but you know, that's easier said than done, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So take us back, speed us up until chapter 4. You have your miscarriage
Mhm.
and your husband, what does your husband ask you and what happened after you
So
have a
with
miscarriage?
chapter 4, the title is "You Can't Postpone Your Trip,"
Okay.
and this is something that he never told anybody. Again, he wanted to play the victim, but when I suffered my miscarriage, he left
Okay.
for 7 days. He went on a trip, claimed that he always took the trip even before he met me. Um, it was that he would never miss the trip, anything like that. So he left that morning, June 6th, which was a Monday. I actually started bleeding June 4th during our housewarming because we had just moved into a new house. So we're surrounded by family and friends and loved ones, but they have no clue that I am in the beginning stages of a miscarriage. I didn't even know I was in the beginning stages because although I was bleeding, I still had family members who was reaching out to me saying, "Hey, I was told the same thing, but 7 months later, I'm giving birth to a healthy baby," or, I was told the same thing. I was having a miscarriage and they did an ultrasound and the baby is waving, at us, with the ultrasound. So, um, like I say, June 4th was the beginning. June 6th, that morning, he left to go on his trip.
Mm-hmm.
And when I woke up, I had a doctor's appointment. I was able to get a doctor's appointment, but between him leaving and me going to the doctor's appointment, that's when the miscarriage actually happened. That's when I passed the baby. And I remember putting it in a piece of tissue, putting it in the Ziploc bag, putting it in my purse. My parents, who have always been there for me, and that's why I tell people, y'all can't ever say anything bad about my parents. I don't give a damn who you are. They have been there for me since day one. They came, they took me to the doctor, and I'll just say that things were never the same. And
Okay.
that, to me, that was the beginning of me being done.
Wow.
Because when you take vows, it's sickness and in health, rich or poor, better or worse. And even if you felt like, because his thing was, okay, well, we're not going to give it any energy, you're good. We're not going to believe it's a miscarriage, we're still believing and having faith. But even when you found out, after I came from the doctor's office and I told you, you still didn't book a flight to come back home.
Right.
So for 7 days, I was, like I say, I had my support system. My parents was here. They came, stayed with me. I had friends to come by, visit. But what some people don't know is, so instead of me having a procedure that's called a DNC, instead of me having a procedure to basically cleanse out everything, the doctor gave me this pill, which caused me to have like contractions.
Okay.
Wow.
And so there I am in bed having contractions and, hey, doing it all by myself. It's yeah, that's a different type of abandonment.
So, so how did you feel? Um, what was your feeling towards him after that?
Oh, it was none. It was like a light switch.
Really?
Yeah, that's the type of person I am. It was like a light switch.
Yeah. So I have a question because in the book he did ask you should he cancel his trip, and your first answer was no. And then of course the next day when you was going through the process, you felt like, did you feel like that was a caution that he should not have to ask?
Exactly. I mean, if I'm with someone,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's marriage or I'm in a committed relationship, and you need me,
Right.
I'm gonna be there for you.
Okay.
Like anybody I've ever worked for knew that my family comes first. If I get a phone call and somebody is like, "Hey, this is what's going on," I let my supervisors know, hey, I'm out. I'll see y'all tomorrow or the next day, but my family or my loved one need me. For
I'm,
him, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be totally honest. In reading that,
Mm-hmm.
I think I didn't. I was like, she says she's good or this because I wasn't understanding until afterwards. And
Mm-hmm.
then my wife brought it to my attention. She said he shouldn't have had. He shouldn't have had to ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying from a guy's perspective sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I was feeling okay. She said it was okay for him to go,
Right.
right?
Right.
But I get it now, and I'm sorry. I'm just being
No, I'm
No,
glad. I'm glad you
I'm
said that
glad you
because that's
being
a moment of
transparent. Yeah.
honesty. And
yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes as men, we don't know because we
right.
we
And
process
that's all I'm
we
saying
process
because
we process things differently. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I looked at it totally different
Yep.
in reading it, and then my wife said he shouldn't have he shouldn't have asked that, or he shouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
had to ask. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Right.
And I was like, well, we men and we stupid, so there you
Yeah.
go.
Well, I won't argue with that. Let me take a sip on that because I
Yeah.
agree.
Can you send him another shirt that say he's stupid though? Because I would like his next shirt to say that he a man and he's stupid and have his picture on the back of it.
But yeah, I'm just just looking at that situation, and
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
like I said, I just try to be as honest as possible. When I
Right.
read that, I was just like,
Absolutely.
oh, she said it was okay for him to go, and
Right. And
that she would be
then
all right.
another thing is what a lot of people didn't realize is so chapter 4 and chapter 5 kind of tie in together,
Okay.
where chapter 5 is nothing feels the same.
Okay.
And that's when I actually went to the doctor's office. And that's when, I went to the examining room and you're
Mm-hmm.
looking at the ultrasound screen and it's blank. And then the doctor asks you, hey, did you pass anything? And I pull, the plastic bag out of my purse and I show it. And he's like, yeah, basically confirmation. That was your
Wow.
baby. And so to get dressed and then to walk out the examining room and to go to the front, but you're passing these pregnant women with their significant others and their husbands, and you're walking out by yourself. And then when you check out, normally it's okay, Miss Devereaux, we'll see you, next week or whatever. But it was just
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, like they didn't know what to say.
Wow.
And then I walk out, and any other time the waiting room is not packed. This particular day, it's packed with
Okay.
pregnant women everywhere and their kids, And I remember looking at my mom, and she's the type of person, even if when I try to be strong, if I look at her, oh, I'm a break. And
Okay.
so I remember she got up to greet me, but I was trying to get through that next door, out of the waiting room. And as soon as I got out that door, I remember I held the wall and I just broke down.
Okay.
And she was like, it's okay, little chick. And I was like, and she was like, God don't make no mistakes. And I was like, you're right, mama, he doesn't. And I remember looking at my dad, and I could tell he wanted to he was trying to be strong, but he also saw his baby girl breaking.
Yeah.
And so that's when I saw the look on his face, that's when I just dried my tears and I was like, I'm okay. I'm okay, Dad. I'm okay. And I just kind of went back into that, okay, get control of your emotions. Like, you're good.
That's a hell of a moment, and I say that because um how women hold their pain to keep us strong.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's deep. That's
Mm-hmm.
deep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're
So
good.
I have a question for you. Having a military background,
Mm-hmm.
serving the country, how
Mm-hmm.
do you feel that strength helped you to get through your miscarriage and those rough moments?
What the military did definitely make me stronger mentally and physically.
Okay.
I think with the military, as well as I also had a career in law enforcement.
Okay.
There's a sense, and I hate to say it, but it's reality. There is a sense of programming that goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that, it's when you're in the moment, when you're on a mission, when you're on assignment, your emotions are out the door.
Wow.
Hey, task at hand. This is what needs to be done to complete the mission, to complete the assignment, to make this arrest, to find this fugitive, to do that. We're not worrying about emotions. So I think for the military and the law enforcement, it was just like, and let me put this out here too, my faith.
Okay.
I feel like God don't make no mistakes. And his timing is always perfect timing. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in divine guidance as well as divine timing. So for me, I just felt like God was protecting me from things that I couldn't see in the future, if that makes sense. It wasn't meant for me to have a child with this man. And I'm actually thankful. But the experience, did it hurt? Yeah, it did, but I couldn't dwell in it, if that makes sense. Writing the book was my outlet, and again, helping other women. And again, there's some men that told me the book helped them.
Absolutely.
That's what helped me, and that's what's important. So, like I say, but with the military and law enforcement, physically and mentally, it made me stronger, and I think that's what helped me to endure.
Okay. I like it.
That's powerful.
What would your advice be for women going through a miscarriage or that situation? We get a deep breath on that one. Wait a minute.
No, because it's so what I didn't realize is there's a form of PTSD that occurs when you have a miscarriage. Yeah. I didn't know that. My mother is the one that brought it to my attention, because I remember the first Mother's Day. I hosted Mother's Day here at the house, and you know, I cooked for my mom, and some other mothers came over, and she just kept saying to herself, she was like, something seems off. And what she didn't know until after she left was when they left, I broke down. But I was holding it together because I had a house full of people, and we were celebrating these mothers. And I didn't want what I had gone through to be a damper or to bring them down, because we're celebrating them. Although I celebrate my mother every day, you know, the world has decided there's one designated day to celebrate mothers. But anyway, so I think for women who have experienced miscarriages, realize that you're going to have some PTSD moments, whether it's sometimes you feel like it's your fault. You have moments where you felt like, if I would have done this different, or maybe if I didn't pick that up, or maybe if I wasn't running so much, it's not your fault. It's not. I would say accept your emotions, process them, deal with them. If you have a support system, talk to your support system. I know for me, my faith and my support system got me through it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a part in my book where it says sometimes our thoughts can be like kind of being in a prison where you know you're being released, but there's still part of your mind that still feels locked up. Yeah. So yeah, I would just say process your feelings, deal with them, talk about it. Find somebody you can talk to.
Okay.
If it's not someone in your family, like I was talking about earlier, you may
Hmm.
have to get a therapist. Just
Right.
you need an outlet, and it's
Yeah.
okay to cry.
Okay.
For me, the biggest thing was, what am I crying for? Like, and now I've learned to tap into my feelings and my emotions, and I realize it's healthy. There's nothing wrong with crying.
Right.
Actually, crying is an
It's
outlet.
healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
yeah, I would just say, just embrace what you're feeling, process it. Like I say, feel it, talk to someone. Um, Again, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Like my mother told me, because she suffered a miscarriage after having me.
Sure.
She said she just felt like it was God's way of saying that, something was going to be wrong with the baby, so he took the child before enter into this world. And in her case, something would have been wrong with my brother. So God knows what we can handle.
Mhm.
Like I would say, he doesn't put more on us than we can bear. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so I got one for you. Sometimes we don't know that we don't know, right?
Hmm.
And so, what advice would you give to a man if his woman or if a woman that's close to him is going through that when it comes to emotional abandonment, detachment, or attachment? What's your advice that you would give to a man?
Great question, man.
Okay, so this is a two-part, because I remember talking to a guy,
Hmm.
and he said, well, sometimes maybe we don't feel comfortable enough to express. I would say this for women: um, create a safe space and a safe place for your man to be transparent and vulnerable, to the point where he feels comfortable enough to express his feelings.
Hmm.
Okay.
Um, some people feel like, oh, well, we're in a relationship, we're in a committed relationship, we're in a marriage, he should feel comfortable. It depends. If you got a slick mouth, or you constantly coming at him the wrong way, that man gonna shut down. He's not gonna express himself.
Right.
Even when he's
Absolutely.
hurting, he's not gonna express himself.
Right.
So for a man, I just think that if he's in a safe place, a safe environment, and where he could be transparent and vulnerable with his woman, then express how you feel. If you are hurting because of the loss of a child or a
Mhm.
miscarriage or whatever the case, express it, shed them tears. Women, we have to, and this is another thing, because I've seen it happen. When a man cries, he's not a punk. Don't call that man a bitch or anything like that. He's not. I've seen it. No, I've seen women do that,
Right.
like degrade a man.
Okay.
Let that man feel what he's supposed to feel. Y'all wondering why so many of our men of color are angry, or they're
Hmm.
having heart attacks or strokes, because they can't get it off, because the person that they coming home to is not creating that environment for them to express.
Right.
Let your man cry. If he need to fall on the floor, or hold you, um, give him that moment. Like, we're not the only ones who feel when
Mhm.
there's a loss that happened.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I think, as far as a man, I think if he's able to, and I pray that he's in a situation where he can talk about it, express what you're feeling, shed the tears, show the emotions,
Hmm.
and for that woman, embrace it. That, I believe that him being vulnerable and transparent, it should bring y'all closer together. It
Right.
really should, for y'all to have that moment together.
I'm gonna say, just hearing this, and I tried to kind of put myself in that situation, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
As a man, I think it would be tough because we're considered fixers, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
That's a situation that we can't fix, and we can't, and you're helpless,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So I think that situation is only support.
Yeah.
But I,
Right.
I think a lot of us as men don't really understand how to support or what support is needed sometimes. And,
And so, yeah, that's what I was trying to ask. Do you think the biggest support is simply just to be there, to be present?
Yeah. Sometimes words don't even need to be spoken. Just to be held at that moment, for me to be held when I was laying in that bed and, like I say, had to take the pills that made me have contractions. It would have been nice to have somebody to, whether it was rub my back or rub my stomach or just to hold me. That would have meant a lot to me. To reassure, babe, you're okay. You're okay. You know, I didn't have that. So yeah, sometimes words, you know, words don't need to be spoken. Just your physical presence
Yeah.
and to
Okay.
feel that love and so
That's
yeah.
good. Somebody said presence is very, very valuable. So
It really is. Yeah.
yeah.
again, how do you feel about that, Renz? And like I said, I get that. I'm gonna say I get that now, right?
Right.
But a lot of times, as men, we're just like, oh, this needs to be done. This needs to be done. This I could be doing this, this, and this, and we're just sitting here. I'm not knocking that. I understand that now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, just giving you a man's thought process, right?
And I think for a man too, a lot of times y'all try to keep busy so y'all won't sit or soak in what y'all feeling or y'all won't.
Absolutely. And this is a totally different situation, but when my mother passed, that's what I did. I went to work. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that was the time I had the boxing injury. I got 3 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do that. We go to work in order to try to anesthetize the pain.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We think it
Yeah.
anesthetizes the pain or it's kind of a way of not dealing with it. So I do get that, you know, being present is the greatest thing because
Mm-hmm.
you have to feel that. You have to let
Right.
that pain run through your body and you have to breathe it in and you
Mm-hmm.
have to let it pass through eventually. But there's no other way around it but to go through it. And this
Right.
kind of remind me of the Bible scripture when it says his strength is made perfect in our weakness. So as
Mm-hmm.
a man, we have to be weak enough to say, God, I need you. I can't handle this on my own. But
Right.
you know,
Right.
how
Right.
long do it take to get to that maturity level to know that and to say that and to truly, you know, be strong enough to cry out to God and say, I can't do this myself.
Right. Yeah.
So, last question, and we truly appreciate you. When I say truly appreciate you, we truly appreciate you. You're one of our diehards. You're on here every week,
Yeah,
and man, like I said, we just had to we had to bring you in. Especially, you guys support us, and we want to support you guys back. We really, really do.
absolutely.
Like I said, I mean, we not just talk here. We want to do it, and we really appreciate you.
And
So,
thank you for saying that you like bald headed left handed men better. So thank you for saying that.
just
Better
tell
than
them.
Purnell. She
Listen,
said it. She
I
said
tell him this all the time. I tell him and my brother, this will kill it all. Just say I'm back. Act like you ain't.
Mm-hmm.
it.
So we
Yep.
back. Um, what does your happy ever after look like?
Mm. Whew. Um, I will say, and I know me and you had talked about it. You had asked me, would I ever get married again?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is yes. Like
Okay.
that bad experience, because this is the thing. This is what I kind of realized. Sometimes certain things, capital God didn't put together, lowercase God did.
Mm,
And what that means is
Wow.
sometimes we as
I like
humans
that.
Yeah.
may put we as humans may put a union together or a
Absolutely.
situation together. So my happily ever after would be um to be connected with my divine counterparts. Some people call them twin flames. Some people call them soulmates. To be with my prayer partner, my travel companion, my comedic relief, the father of our kids, whether it's biologically or adoption, um, to travel, to build together. Yeah, just make new priceless memories.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a simple girl. It really is truly the little things that make me happy. I don't ask for much. But yeah, I think I will say this. I want that godly love, that agape love, sacrificial love, yeah, all of it. So yeah, that's my happily ever after.
She left out honey love, Rand. So
honey love. It almost sounded like she was trying to make a song.
I know.
Hey.
She was rhyming. She had a good little flow going. Agape love, spiritual love, super love.
Hey, that sacrificial love.
Sacrificial love. Then somebody just had to add unconditional love. Yeah.
It is. Hey, thank you. I forgot that. Unconditional. All of the above. Yeah. Yes. Somebody said, yes, all of that is accurate. Yeah.
Man, listen,
they flowing.
We so appreciate you and thank you so much. You got any questions for us?
Go. 1, 2, 3, go. Let's get it. Ask Purnell something good because he's been dancing around questions all day. Ask him something, please. Challenge him. Don't be scared to challenge him.
Oh, child. Let me think.
I love the Texas accent. She's like, ooh, child.
Ask him, is he going to abandon them silk drawers this year because he's turning another age real soon? Is he going to abandon those or he's going to keep on with the silk? Ask him something good. Go ahead. I ain't going to ask it for you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
First of all, we don't need to know about the type of drawers he wears.
I love her so much, and thank you.
We don't. We really don't.
And we back.
Right?
What you got?
Hey, I appreciate y'all for having me, for allowing me to share my story.
All day. No, we appreciate you.
For those, my book is on Amazon, paperback and Kindle.
Please get it, y'all. It's fire. It is fire.
And this is what it looks like.
Okay.
So look, I don't know, Lorenzo, I don't know if you could tell, but inside the eye, there's a heart with a baby inside of it.
I didn't notice.
And then there's a teardrop right here, and in the teardrop, it has the word faith.
Okay, I seen the teardrop. I didn't notice inside the eye. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
So I guess my last question for you. How did your faith bring you through everything? How big of a role did that play?
Oh shoot, that was the number one role.
Why?
Because I guess I've always so coming from a big family, I've seen what God can do and has done.
Sure.
And so although I experienced this loss of having a miscarriage, I still believe in his word where he say be fruitful and multiply.
Okay.
Again, I feel like it just wasn't supposed to happen with this fool my ex-husband. I'm just gonna be honest. So I believe that when I do meet my true godsend, the one that he handpicked for me, because again, like I say, hey, sometimes we put ourselves in a situation where capital God was like, hey, I didn't mean that for you, but you chose to. Anyway, yeah. So, but I think, I know that he showed me that I can get pregnant. So I'm still believing that when I do meet that person, that it will happen. I stand on his word. Like I say, I've seen the miracles and the blessings, not only within my life, but my family's life. So yeah, faith is if to each his own. I know not everybody are believers, but I can only speak for myself and my family.
Right.
Hey, God, even in the midst of our stormy periods, he's still there. Somebody said to me years ago, before, during, and after a storm, a rainbow is present. But sometimes that rainbow can't be seen all the time. But it's there.
Okay.
Before, during, and after a storm.
Okay.
That rainbow consists of God's love, his forgiveness, his grace, and his mercy.
Okay.
It's ever present.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I'm glad you said that, because that set me up for my next question. Do you feel like you have forgiven the brother? And moving forward, how do you detach from those feelings enough so that you don't take it into your next relationship or marriage?
I'm gonna take my hat off to Renz on that one. That was
right. Well, like I say, when I'm done, I'm done. So when that light switch was flipped off, all emotions that was ever attached to him.
Is that a good thing?
For me, it is. Like, I feel nothing. Yeah, for me, it is. Like, when I'm done, I'm done. I feel nothing for you. There is no going back. There is no what ifs. There is no pondering. When I'm done, I'm done. So,
so if you see him in a grocery store and he say, "Hey, T, how you doing?" and try to embrace you with a hug, would you hug him?
I'll be cordial.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah, I don't fake the funk over here. Like,
because forgiving a person don't mean you have to embrace them. So I just want to know what you thought.
You're right about that.
It doesn't mean you have to embrace them. Yeah.
Right.
They said pin your book in the title too.
Yeah, and
the title of your book.
Yeah, can you say the name of your book one more time for us?
It is called Missteps, Heartaches, and Setback: Overcoming Through Faith, Perseverance, and Prayer.
Missteps, heartaches, and setbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, Tiff, thank you for coming on with us. You was fire today. We appreciate you. Appreciate you. And thank you for the support.
Look, I didn't have to finish my drink. Everything was good. I thought I was going to have to finish it.
Hey, that's going to stunt your growth. Don't drink too much.
Boy,
yeah, I take jabs at people. It's going to stunt your growth.
Mama, thank you for being on here, because I respect my elders, but you was about to get it.
Yeah. I want to smoke. I don't want to be peaceful for the whole show.
Look, let me tell you.
You mad because I said you was 5'3"?
Look, hey.
She was going to send you some hair.
5'3".
Amen.
Somebody tell me I finish it anyway. Oh, you know I'm gonna finish this drink. We don't waste alcohol over here. I'm gonna finish it. Trust me.
Tiff, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, young lady.
Absolutely.
Y'all behave.
We're gonna try.
We're gonna cut up a little bit, just a little bit.
Oh man, I love it. What's your thoughts, my brother?
Man, just like I said, man, we're at a dire time where I think as a whole, man, the world is suffering in a way that it's never suffered before.
Okay.
So this is the time to educate ourselves on emotional detachment, attachment, and abandonment, and to know when to do which one. Because you could do the wrong one out of season, and you can walk away from a person who you was only supposed to temporarily detach from. So, man, just researching it, and we always inspire our people to research for themselves.
Absolutely.
I think it's a lot that we can learn about ourselves, but most importantly, when it comes to abandonment, take it back to its root, and the root was our childhood. I'm grateful, man, because the closer I get to 40, for some reason, man, I just feel like that's going to be just a new chapter in my life. And so I'm being able to deal with a lot of stuff that I went through in my 20s and early 30s, and just to take on that new identity and that new form, and to, just live them next years and not have to suffer in that same manner because of this new profound knowledge and wisdom. So I'm excited, bro, just to deal with the root of things.
I'm going to say this to you. I would look at it not as an age thing, but a maturity thing, right?
Okay.
You got 50-year-old fools, right?
Fact.
They just don't. You decided to grow and move forward, and I guess I would just use age as a benchmark for success. I'm going to accomplish this at this point. I'm going to accomplish this at this point.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. But I want to say about Tiff, fire. She
Man,
was fire.
that's a powerful sister, man.
Yeah,
And
she
just
was
much
fire.
respect to her father who served the country, for her for
Absolutely.
serving the country, that beautiful,
Absolutely.
strong mother. And it's people like that. Like I said, bro, the book definitely blessed me just to see a different perspective. I took a highlighter, I highlighted my books
I see you sent me
and write.
pages that was highlighted.
Yeah, so because it's subjects, it's so many subjects that you can get
Right.
off of, a person being transparent enough to tell their story. And
Absolutely. So yeah,
one day,
we're
yeah.
ordering the book and definitely going to get it and read it. You guys, please order and
You
support
ordering
us.
the book, P? You say you ordering it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a good book, but I gotta tell you, it don't have pictures in there because you usually only can read picture books, right?
But Netta gonna read it to me.
Oh, but he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So
there we go. So we good. We good.
yeah.
We good.
So you got a birthday coming up this month, correct?
Man, Monday.
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 How you feeling, man?
Man, you know what? I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. You know, like I said, I look at it, just being totally, I've never been this honest, right? And I think it's just, I want to thank the podcast for that too. It brought out just me speaking my truth, right?
Wow.
And so I think a lot of times, me and my brother said, you know what? We're gonna go celebrate. So we got next weekend and the week after, we're going to a couple of different places and celebrate.
Yeah.
As men, just being totally honest, we're not celebrating. And a lot of times we have to celebrate ourselves. So let's get it, man. Let's get it.
That's
And I just want to put that out there because I think it's real. You know what I'm saying? I think it's 100% real. And just, I'm going to say for you, think about the last time someone celebrated you.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? People might say, oh, hey, happy birthday, gave you a gift. When have you celebrated someone, right?
That's it.
And I just say, as men, we gotta celebrate ourselves sometime, and then just look at the situations and say, okay, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. You know what I mean? So let's go. Let's go, and that's where I'm at. That's where we at. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to say, oh, family ain't doing this. I think a lot of this is everybody do what's normal to them, right? And everything is normal. So what's normal is, oh, Father's Day. Oh, here you go. This is, I mean, you know what I mean? So
that's it.
I just feel like sometimes we need to highlight it and say, hey, this is a situation, and I never really thought about it until now, until said, wow, that's kind of crazy. So my thing is, we're gonna go to the wheels fall off. So we going out of town a couple of this month and next month and do some celebration. Next year, we at over at some islands.
Let's go.
You know what I mean?
Let us know ahead of time, man, because I definitely want to, plan in advance, take all my cans and bottles to the store and join that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, we there. Maldives, here we come, brother. So ain't no stopping. You know what I mean? So we out of here, brother. So like I said, let's get it, man. But everybody who sent the birthday wishes, I thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. And to next week, my brother. So next week we'll be in from Memphis. Here we go. From Memphis. We'll be in Memphis. I'll be shooting from Memphis. But like I said, I want to just keep it consistent, and we be on here and we do it. Let's go.
Let's get it. Thank you, everybody.
Absolutely. Rock out, brother. And Tiff, again, thank you so much. Thank you so much. What's your thoughts with that? Last thoughts with Tiff?
Man, again, she's an amazing woman. We thankful for her story, thankful for her coming on to the podcast. She's definitely a blessing, man. And like I said, the book was a good read. Happy to dig into this subject. And for me personally, this is a subject that I want to dig in even more. You know what I'm saying? Outside of the podcast, like I say, just to take things back to its root and to get a greater understanding of it. So, that's the most important thing, getting the understanding.
Last words. I got you, my brother. We out of here, y'all.
That's what's up. You got your shirt before me.
You
But
welcome.
the
All right.
last shall
Thank
be
y'all for
first.
joining.
You should ask her to send you a new face with the next shirt that she give you.
Bye.
Come on.